We are headed into Rocky today for a hike that is really just meant to be long. I want to get some miles under my belt. I really haven't done anything this week, so I'm excited to just put in some miles and get on the trail. It's such a nice day today. There is a bit of like clouds overhead. There was some fog, but now it's, as you can see, nice and sunny and warm. So I think it's going to be a good day. I'm really stoked. So I'm going to get into the park and I'll talk to you when we get there. What are you doing? There's nothing for you here. I have a little friend. I think just wants food, but I have nothing to offer you. Nothing for you. Nothing. I got my socks. That's about it. Ugh. Such a curious little bird. Welcome to a new vlog. I am so excited to bring you on this hike. We're doing Deer Mountain in Rocky Mountain National Park, all around Deer Mountain from the north side to the summit, down the south side and back to the car. And I'm so excited because I haven't hiked this length ever in a long time. But it's going to be a good one. You can see it's really snowy, but we also hit patches of not snow, so I don't know if I'm going to put my spikes on yet, except we are going over a ridge, so maybe I should. Decisions. But anyway, welcome to the vlog.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks.
Well, this is where we're at so far. Got my half of my leg stuck. I'm gonna push off with this leg to get this one out and hope we don't get stuck again. There we go. Ugh. Oh. Salvation. Have a little roadblock here. I'm trying to get to that side. This is in my way, so down we go. Oh. Yay, we did it. So to tell you a little bit more about this trail, like I mentioned, it's called Deer Mountain and it's in Rocky Mountain National Park. You can access it from the Estes Park, either entranceway. It's definitely a popular trail in the summer, but obviously I'm doing it in the winter, so I'm the only one here. But the way that I'm doing it is I'm doing the north side first, and then the two south sides, including the summit, last. And the reason is it's in the 20s today, or at least it was when I started hiking. And with it being in the 20s, I wanted to do the north side, which obviously is going to be in shade the whole day, just because of where the sun is. I wanted to do the north side first to get that over with. We're supposed to have some storms rolling in later today, and I knew if the wind picked up and I knew if it started to get colder, I just wanted the shaded side done first so that I could do the sunny side later in the day. Of course, also when I am more than like halfway done the hike and I'm likely to be a lot more tired. So I just wanted to share that. I think this is going to be, aside from the distance, we'll see when we start to summit how difficult it is, but right now it hasn't been difficult really. There have been no steep inclines or declines. I'm trying to protect my knees as much as possible. They've been giving me some issues lately, and I think I need one of those like compression bands around my knee because it's just hurting so bad. Even when I'm not hiking, I get like twinges of pain. So anyway, I'm gonna put you down and keep going because we're only like a mile and a half in. Here's the town of Estes Park. It's Lake Estes down there. You can't really see the town too well, but it's there, I promise. I just started getting into the sunny part of the hike, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be sunny for most of the rest of the hike. And I wanted to say another good reason for hiking the north side of a trail or the shaded side of a trail first, especially in the winter, is because you're more likely to sweat when you're in the sunny portions. Chances are snow might be more melted and you might be walking a bit faster. If you have hiked the sunny portions and are then hiking the shaded portions, you're more likely to just lose your body temperature a lot more because you're sweaty and you have cold air and no sun warming you up. Whereas if you do shaded first, less likely to sweat, and then you come into the sun, if you do sweat more, it's not as detrimental or as dangerous because you have the sun to still keep you warm. So yeah, just wanted to share that little tidbit with you. Whew, we're only on like mile 3. My nose. We're only on mile 3 of 10, so we still have a good bit to go, but I don't know where the trail goes actually. I think it comes over here. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me, but it's windy up here. The storm is rolling in a bit earlier than I expected. It's about like 12:30, 1 o'clock right now. So we got to get a move on. Oh, you can see storm's rolling in. We got to go. We're going to picking up. My hands started to get cold, so I put on my gloves and I pulled out my poles because my knees are just dying. You can see the mountains are now just like completely covered. But luckily, maybe the storm is going to the south, so it won't hit us. Here's another view of Estes Park as well. It's down here. You can just see surrounded by the beautiful Rockies. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to come on and say hello because I realized I ended the hike rather abruptly, and I wanted to give you a bit of an explanation why. So the hike itself was about 11 miles in total. I had done the first 8 miles, which wasn't too bad. Also, sorry if you can hear the dishwasher. The first 8 miles were not too bad. It was not a crazy elevation. It was a lot of snow that had not been walked through, so there was a bit of trudging and a bit more exertion. But what I found, I had a few issues along the way. I was not drinking enough water and I was not eating properly. I had a super light breakfast and I did not stop for lunch when I had initially told myself I was going to. And then I came to the point of the hike where it was time to get to the summit of the mountain, which went from 8,600 feet to 10,000 feet. And typically this would be totally fine. I would have no issues. But the combination of not eating properly, not drinking properly, and exerting myself, kind of going a little bit too fast and ascending too quickly, meant that I got altitude sickness. And I know that might sound a little silly, you know. Of course you could get sick when you go up in elevation, but I think what I am most frustrated about is that a lot of this was preventable on my end. I could have drank more water, I could have eaten more food and stopped for lunch. I was a little bit worried about the time because it did take me longer to get through the first portion of the hike than I initially had hoped. So I was worried about sunset. There were storms rolling in, so that's why I pushed myself to keep going and not take a dedicated lunch break. With altitude sickness, if you've never gotten it before, and I hope you haven't, it is a really funny feeling. You can sometimes get headaches. In my case, I got severe feelings of nausea. I didn't actually vomit, but I felt very nauseous. I also got very disoriented, which as a solo hiker can be pretty scary. And that was sort of a secondary effect, the feeling of fear that made this a bit more precarious for me. So I had summited the mountain and I had started to come down, and that's when I really started to recognize that something wasn't right and that I think I had altitude sickness. So what I did was I stopped for a little bit. I drank some water and I was really trying to calm down those feelings of fear because that was just making my mind go in all different directions and thinking about all different scenarios. The trail that I was on, at this point, I had gotten to the part where most people typically hike. I had gotten out of kind of the lesser hiked area. So the trail was still fully snow covered, but it was compacted, so it was a lot easier to walk on. But the sides of the trail were, 6 to 8 inches of regular snow, like what you would have if you didn't walk on it. And I was starting to get really disoriented, losing the trail, kind of going off of the trail at some parts. And that's when I really recognized, like, this is a problem. So luckily, there were 3 gentlemen on the trail who were just, a few minutes behind me, who didn't take the route I took. They took kind of the front-facing route. So I didn't cross their paths until the summit, and I ended up asking them if I could walk down with them. I didn't tell them the full extent of what I was feeling because they were not from Colorado. They're from Missouri and Texas, and we're in town for the Chiefs-Broncos game. So I didn't tell them the full extent of what I was feeling because I didn't want to worry them. I just told them I didn't feel well. Can I walk down with you? And they were so, so kind and let me go with them. And that really made a big difference for me. One, not feeling alone really helped to calm that feeling of fear. At least I was in a group of people where if they had to go on ahead and get help for me, they could have. But then also it was really great to just talk to them and kind of get my mind off of what I was feeling. With altitude sickness, pretty much, the moment you start to actually descend, you start to feel better because altitude sickness is brought on by the lack of oxygen at higher elevations. And for me, this was exacerbated or made worse because I had overexerted myself and I had not given myself the proper energy or the proper hydration, which for me personally can often quell or prevent altitude sickness. If you have proper hydration and proper fuel for your body in combination with taking those ascents at a moderate pace, you can usually prevent altitude sickness. So I just wanted to give you that explanation. Obviously, I'm home. I'm totally fine. And thanks to those 3 gentlemen, the hike down was pretty simple. If I dare say, very enjoyable. It was so great to meet them and talk to them. But I wanted to share that with you because I am sure there might have been questions of, why didn't I actually end the vlog or the hike properly? Why didn't I tell you about the experience? That kind of thing. I was so frazzled yesterday that I got in the car, I ate my sandwich, drank my water, and then I just went home and I slept because I was so exhausted. So I tell you this because even people who feel relatively experienced in hiking like myself need to follow the basic principles and the basic rules of what you need to do to keep your body in good condition and keep yourself safe. The situation could have easily turned much worse than what it was. We were getting close to sunset. I think we had about an hour and a half of daylight left. It was getting cold, it was windy, the storms were rolling in. So this is a reminder for myself, as much as it is for anyone else out there who is planning to go hiking, that you need to do, the basic things to keep your body in good condition as you're hiking, especially if the hike is going to be, whether it's 2 miles or 11 miles, whether it's flat elevation or going up 2,000 feet. There are things you need to do to make sure that you can get to your destination and you can get back to your starting point. So I don't want to end with that level of kind of fear and sadness, but I did want to be honest with you that I had a problem on the hike, and I recognize there are things I need to do next time in order to keep myself safe. So that'll be it. I'll put an end there. If you have any questions about altitude sickness, I'm not a doctor, of course. This is just what I know from my own training, especially with my volunteer group. But if you have any questions or want to know more, please feel free to leave a comment. I'm happy to share information because I think that's one of the best ways to build a community of aware hikers, aware adventurers, that kind of thing. So anyway, today we are going to the dreaded grocery store. I gave myself the whole morning to relax, obviously, after yesterday, and now it is time to be an adult again. I've planned out a few different meals that I want to make. I'm really trying to focus myself this year on putting better things into my body. Granted, I literally just told you I did not eat enough and I was not fueled properly for my hike, but I'm trying to change that habit. So I have a few recipes that I'm going to make today that'll hopefully last me through the week, because I do find that during the work week, I need things that I can easily heat up, things that are easily accessible, all that kind of stuff, or else I just will not have lunch because things are so go with work. So I'm gonna get ready and pop over to the grocery store, pick up the different bits that I need, and come back home and hopefully start making some of them with you that we can have for dinner tonight. So, yeah. Hi everyone, made it home from the grocery store and I'm so ready to start cooking dinner. I have 3 different recipes that I'm making for this week. The first one that I'm gonna make tonight is a honey Dijon chicken with butternut squash and Brussels sprouts. Then I also have a kale salad with quinoa and butternut squash, like a warm kind of salad that I'm gonna make later this week. And to close out the week, I'm going to do this creamy tortellini dish with sausage, which I'm so excited about. I love pasta. But I wanted to get started on cooking dinner. It's only 3 o'clock right now, but I have to be so honest with you. I'm still pretty beat from yesterday, mentally and emotionally. I made a little TikTok that I'm hoping reaches Mark, Mike, and Michael, the 3 guys that helped me, just expressing my thanks again, because I truly cannot say thank you enough for the support and the help that they provided me on the trail. So I'm hoping that the internet does its thing and gets that to them, and I hope they have, you know, so much good luck and good fortune this year, because I needed them in that moment, and they were there, and it was awesome. So I'm so grateful. So yeah, I'm a little burned out from this weekend, so gonna take it easy for the rest of the night. I'm gonna throw you on a time lapse while I get to cooking, and I will probably see you in the next vlog. I think I'm gonna close it out for this one and just call it a night. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for coming on the hike. Thank you for being so supportive, and I will see you next time.